18th of February 2021, end of the US cash market, Thursday. Piotr here, Liteforex Global YouTube channel. Another very extremely interesting day when it comes to the market movements. Let's start with the cable because if you do remember, we were discussing two things. We were discussing the possible swing high creation. In that case, if you were looking for selling opportunity, we are discussing levels above 39.15 to 39.25. On the other hand, we were discussing that 38.50, 38 could be the demand zone based on a few things. Weekly open and this trend line, right? So looks like over the course of the day, pound was the strongest overall when it comes to the market, and especially when it comes to the pound USD. Once we broke through 39.15, 39.25, we also broke through the high we've seen on Tuesday, and we are approaching very, very significant level around 140.10 based on the weekly chart, blue line visible here, right? So based on this new high, again, pound tomorrow might be very, very interesting. Now, also from the intraday perspective, if you do remember our measure, lower shadows, retest lower shadows, congratulations if you are long. Congratulations if you are long. Be careful tomorrow ahead of the weekend. It could be some kind of this type of the price action, right? So that's what the bears are looking for. Bulls are looking for weekly close above 40.10. So that's how I see the things related to the cable. Now, the very important thing is that tomorrow plenty of things when it comes to the calendar. That's why I started with the cable, because right ahead of the London Open, we are going to get UK retail sales. The expectations, well, are very, very weak. Taking into the consideration of any kind of the manipulation, that the weak expectations, right? Anything better than what market is expecting, we might see higher levels when it comes to the cable, right? So that's the things related to the pound. Quite surprise on the other hand, because of what we've seen when it comes to the US data yesterday and today. Philly Fed was better than what market was expecting. On the other hand, unemployment claims was much weaker, but we know that the weekly jobless claims are very volatile lately. So I would say that the Philly Fed should be the driver, right? Building permits, housing starts neutral when it comes when we are going to take them together. But lately we've seen the pullback when it comes to the US yields, so that's one of the reasons. All right, the next one is the euro pound. Why euro pound? Well, because again, pound was the strongest over the course of the day, but tomorrow all eyes on the PMI worldwide. So morning before the London Open, retail sales out of the UK, but then during the London session, we are going to get the EU flash PMI services and manufacturing, as well as UK flash services and flash manufacturing PMI. All right, so very important situation. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the weekly chart blue line plus daily low swing over here. This level is being tested right here, right now. Very, very interesting. Plus broken level today which represents the supply. So let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we are talking about. Well, when it comes to the euro pound, the possible demand and profit taking ahead of the weekend is around 86.40, right? 86.40. We've seen today a little bit of the lower shadow. When it comes to that's the demand. When it comes to the supply, we are talking about the levels close to broken today 86.90, right? So quite nice 50 pips range. So what I'm gonna to look for tomorrow is for possible price action suggesting the long early morning, and then I'm going to watch carefully the levels of the 86.90, 87 for the eventually short position. That's how I see the things related to the euro pound, right? That's quite important. So again, busy calendar when it comes to the data today, tomorrow. So the next one we are going to discuss is of course euro dollar. Well, the bulls are trying to hold this 120, 119.60 again, right? Quite nice move to the upside. Where we are right now, well, we are testing the supplies between 20.85, 20.95 we were discussing yesterday, right? If we are going to go through, then yesterday high, weekly open. Still, we are below the weekly open, so cannot rule it out. The supply will work out. What about the buyers? Because of today's price action, if we are going to see the retest of the 2050, that's the first line of the possible demand when it comes to the euro dollar tomorrow, and from here higher levels to go. Well, that's the things related to the euro dollar, right? Next thing, it's quite interesting as well, because over the course of the Tokyo session we are going to get the Australian retail sales. Now, chop, 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 that's what I would like to say, because, well, 77.50.35 been holding. We've seen the upside, then the downside after the job market and because of the sell-off on the Wall Street, and higher again towards the end of the day. Now, why is that so important? Because from the daily chart perspective, right, we are still holding above the yearly open red dashed line, right? On the other hand, it's finishing the business swing high when it comes to the weekly open, right? So very, very important level. Let's switch to intraday chart. Let's have a look what we have here. Well, what is interesting in my opinion is the reaction here, right? Because what we've seen here, it was the rally because we took out some supply, then drop because we took out some demand. So what we have right now is just the retest of the supply. So if you are going to trade the Tokyo session, I would watch the price action around the 7780, 7795 from the bears perspective. If you are a buyer, then 7750, 7735, that's levels, the zone you are going to watch. And finally, the Nasdaq is a Thursday, so it's not surprise for me that after hitting the new low below yesterday low, we are creating the lower shadow again based on this latest weakness, based on the 50% of that zone, right? So if you are listening carefully, if you are watching the charts, you knew the drill, right? Again, we are testing some kind of the supply as well. So what could be the action tomorrow? Cannot rule it out, attempt to retest the weekly open, right? If that's the case, you are looking to buy around yesterday low. What's your supply level? Somewhere between today's highs, yesterday high, and the weekly open, right? Quite wide. But guys, the top question and what you should watch are gonna be the yields ahead of the weekend, because here we have to try to answer ourselves if the pop when it comes to the US yields is like, you know, accident, temporary, or if it's something bigger. Okay, that's the top question. So Thursday, choppy day, but tomorrow, well, it might be again very, very interesting. With that being said, guys, don't be trapped. Wish you great Tokyo session and see you around tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye. Good night.